Hey guys, Gathering the Magic back again, and it's time for part two of the Card Market Watch for Sunday, March 16th, 2025. So we're going to do a deep dive into the entire card market, as you guys know. So we're going to start, as we always do, with Alpha. So what has Alpha done over the last 2 weeks? As we can see here, a lot of the commons are trending down in price. Now, a couple months ago, getting to the point where there was only 3 or 4 Alpha commons that were under $1. So you can see here, there's quite a bit now, about what, 2/3 of the set that's under $1. So cards have definitely come down from Alpha. A decent amount on the marketplace. You can see some of these in the 30s, but still there's some that are under 10 copies available. So if you're looking to pick up Alpha cards to just kind of fill out your collection, just something fun, if you just want to collect one of each just to have a set of commons, now is a good price to pick some of these cards up, for under $1. So they're going anywhere from 34 cents for the Minotaur Warrior up to $10, surprisingly, for the Spineback Wolf. Let's see if this is a single BCX. Yep, that is for a single BCX. But if you look for some of the combined cards, let's look at how much they are per BCX. Wow, they're just ridiculously high. So even the ones that are combined, they're still asking $10 or $28 per BCX. So definitely stay away from the Spineback Wolf. I mean, normally this card is near the bottom of the common card, so definitely don't purchase that. So any common card, I would say under $2 is probably realistic. Okay, moving on to the rares. So we actually have a rare card under $1. Clay Golem is sitting at 85 cents. Up to your most expensive rare, $43 for the Undead Priest. This is for a multiple BCX, so this is for a level 5. So you're looking at $2.69 per BCX. If you want a level 7, $1.69, $1.74. These are more realistic prices. So don't be scared off by the $43. It is for a multiple copy. Let's just look at the summoners. How are they doing? So still looking at $1.14 for Tyrus, $1.95 for Liana, Centaur at $2.24, Ulrich at $3.09, Malric's at $14, but that is for a level 4. So you can see normally per BCX you can find one in the dollar range. So that's it for the summoners. Let's take a look at the epic cards. So your epics, and you can see all of these are listed. There are 10 in the set. All 10 are available for sale, but less than 10 copies of each of these available. So not very many on the marketplace, ranging from $3.16 from the Serpent of the Flame up to $14.01 for the Swamp Thing. And your legendary cards, Frost Giant is the cheapest at $19.95, up to $125 for Angel of Light. And then your gold foil versions, so your commons, pretty standard. Usually there's 1 or 2 cards under 20 bucks. So we've got the Giant Rock coming in this week at $13, the Goblin Shaman at $18, and then they jump to $25 plus. Even being common cards, you can see how incredibly rare these are. Only a couple copies of most of these on the marketplace. There's 20 in the set. All 20 are available, so that's pretty nice. But just so few of these on the marketplace. And like you can see, when you get down to single copies, people can basically ask what they want. But you can look at the amount in circulation, anywhere from, looks like the mid 200s up to, let's see, do any of these hit 400, 408? So even being a common gold foil, you're looking at 300 and some copies for most of these, not very many. And like I've said so many times, if we get thousands and thousands of new players over the next few years, and even if a handful of those are people with deep pockets, these cards won't last very long. Rares, you're looking at $49 up to $22,000 for a single copy of the Frozen Soldier. Once again, it's simply because there's not very many of these on the marketplace. Of the 20 rares, there's only 15 available, and you can see most of these are single copies or just 2 copies of most of these cards. So incredibly beautiful. I love the gold, but just so rare. Looking at your epic cards, 5 cards are listed here of the 10, anywhere from $375 for Defender of Truth up to $1,500 for Dark Enchantress. And once again, 2 copies of Defender of Truth and only single copies of the other ones on the marketplace. And then your gold foil legendaries, the two available are Lord of Darkness for 8,000, only 21 cards in circulation, and then Elemental Phoenix for 125,000, but there are only 17 cards in existence. Okay, let's take a look now at the promos. So this is it for your entire promos, regular foil and gold foil. So you've got a regular foil Dragon Whelp common at 640, and then the two rares are available, two versions, 1188 for the regular foil, and then $98 and a penny for the gold. Okay, let's move on to beta. Let's look at the core and reward cards from beta. So the floor price from beta is now 6-7 cents for your low-end common cards, all the way up to 70 cents for the Divine Healer. So those are your commons. Looking at your rares, which include some summoners, 23 cents for the Undead Priest is the cheapest rare. Up to most expensive rare is Ulrich, and look, Ulrich is now above $5. So for quite a while, Ulrich was sitting there. I know I picked up some copies a couple months ago for right around $2, maybe slightly under $2. You know, so he's been $1.85 to $2.50 for quite a while, but now there's not very many available. There's a single BCX for $5.37, and then you have level 2s, and these are about what they have been, you know, $1.85 to $2, but not very many on the marketplace, and then you start getting pretty pricey. So the cheapest single card is $5.37, but if you're going to spend that, go ahead and grab one of these where it's level 2. So let's take a look at the summoners for the rares, see how they're doing. So overall, 40 cents for Liana, 65 cents for Tyrus, 84 cents for Zintar, 208 for Malric, and then, like we just mentioned, 537 for Ulrich. Is Malric a single BCX? Yes, so $2 for single BCX of him. So starting to see a little bit of movement in some of these older summoner cards. Let's look at the epics now. Your epics, Dark Enchantress at 79 cents. Up to $20.20 for Jarlax the Undead. 3 copies available. This is for a single BCX, $20. If you're going to spend that much, you might as well just go ahead and spend $40 and get the level 4, which is only going to cost you $3.62 per BCX. Those are your epics. Now for your legendary cards, $3.90 is your cheapest for Zolfra and Ifrit, and then look how it jumps from there. So $3.90, then it jumps all the way to $7 for the cheapest legendary card from beta. And now Lord of Darkness is sitting at 100, and that is for a single BCX. So typically this card has been in the $20 range, $20 to $25 for the alpha beta version, so this one has really moved up. Peak Rider sitting at $95, Voldemort sitting at $79. Makes Prince Rendon look very cheap by comparison at $19. And is this for single BCX? Yes, it is. A single copy at $79, and then it jumps to $115. Peak Rider, $95. There's 3 of them available, and then you can get a max level 1 for $300. So those are your legendary cards. So let's look now at your commons, your gold foil versions of these. So still sitting at right around $2 for the floor for a beta gold foil common. You can see the amount in circulation here. Still very beautiful cards, and love the gold border. Very easy to tell that these are the gold versions. Goblin Shaman is the most expensive gold foil, sitting at $145, only 2 available. For your rare cards, which do include summoners, this is kind of surprising that the cheapest rare is actually a summoner at $7.73. I feel like that one might be underpriced. Gold Chicken sitting at $14. Ulrich Gold Foil $40. And then the most expensive Peacebringer sitting at just under $400, but there's only a single copy. Twisted Jester at $375. Gremlin Blaster, the only one on the market, and they're asking $230. Undead Priest, $125. So just keying in on the summoners. Gold foil summoners, I think if you can get them under 20 bucks, it's pretty good for beta. So these three I think are good deals. Ulrich at 40 is probably where he should be. And Zintar, if that's a single BCX, nope, that's two. So 50 bucks a piece. That's still a little bit on the high end. I would, say maybe 20 or 25, not 50 per BCX. Is Ulrich a single copy? Yep, Ulrich's a single. Even these, level 4, 2 BCX, $35. That seems about right for price. Okay, let's move on to the epics. Swamp Thing sitting at $33 is your cheapest gold foil epic, up to $250, single copy of the brownie. Once again, look at the amount in circulation, a couple hundred or less for most of these cards, very hard to get. And then moving on to the legendaries for beta, just under $500 for the Black Dragon and the Gold Dragon, all the way up to $1,498 for the Spirit Miner. What else we have? Plato sitting here at $1,400, Cryptmancer at $700, single copy. So once again, very, very hard cards to pull. Okay, so that's it for those. Let's move on to promo cards. So these are your promo cards, regular foil. Once again, Delwyn Dragon Scale up to 80 cents. The Dragling Bowman consistently at 43 cents. Harpy at $2.90. Red Dragon at $8. Prince Julian up to just under $1,500. Same with Archmage Arius. And then your gold foil versions, the only ones available are Delwyn. Funny, the pictures are reversed. Delwyn at $9.89, and then Dragonling Bowman at $25. So those are your promo cards. Let's look now at Orb. So looking at Orb, regular foil, look at the big price movement here. Armorsmith sitting at 57 cents. So typically he's like in the teens or less. Single copies, look at this, 57 cents up to 85. So I think for survival mode, this is one of the cards that has really been dried up off the market with that repair. People are trying to save their cards. You don't want to lose a single card in survival mode. So if you can do some armor repair, that is a key ability. So that one has really moved up in price. For your rares, Electric Eels, this one also has moved up in price. Usually these are in the 24 to 30 cent range. The Bard I can understand moving to 47 cents with the Cleanse, but not sure why the Eels has moved up to 65. Your two epics, usually right around $1, so those are about the same. And your legendary cards, as I mentioned in part 1, these have been drifting a little bit higher too. Usually it's $5 for the cheapest and about $10 for the most expensive. Now you're looking at $8 to $14.40. Your gold foil versions, once again, the Armorsmith is the most expensive common, sitting at $4.84. Your rares, $8 for the Bard, up to $13.58 for the Undead Archer. Your Epic, Dwarven Wizard is the only one of the two on the market, sitting at $69, only one available. And for your legendaries, the two legendary gold foils are Minotaur Warlord for $700 and Corrupted Pegasus for $1,400. Okay, so now we move on to Untamed. Let's look at just the Corn reward cards. Just one card at a penny, the Ant Miners. One card at 2 cents for Cobalt Bruiser, and then your 3 cents plus for Untamed common cards. And actually for commons, the liquidity on a lot of these is pretty low. You can see a lot of them are under 50. Where it takes 400 to max out a common, that is pretty low for these. Some key cards, Serpentine Spies, you guys know this has kind of been in the 10-cent range. It's jumped up to 27. Failed Summoner, 29 cents. Albatross sitting at 40 cents. So those are some of your key cards. Demented Shark with the Inspire. I think that's still a good deal at 9 cents. For your rares, so your cheapest rare, you're looking at 5 cents for the Soldier, 6 cents for the Dark Ferryman. up to what are the most expensive cards. Elven Mystic sitting at $2.14. The Princess, $1.90, 2 mana with the 1 magic damage. True Speaker, which gives Protect, is up to 95 cents. Let's key in on the Summoner, see what they're doing. So Bortus, which usually is the most expensive because of the negative magic, he's the cheapest at 30 cents. So this seems kind of backwards to me. Pyre, Wizard of Eastwood, 40 cents. Contessa, 45. Mother Kalia, 80. So these have moved up. As you guys remember, a couple months ago, these were in the 20-some cent range. So now you're looking at 40 cents plus. 80 cents for Mother Kalia, 81 for the Dragon Summoner. So Bortus at 30 cents seems like a pretty good deal. Let's look at your epics now. So now 21 cents is your cheapest epic from Untamed. Up to your most expensive is the Hero of Beyond for $1.50. Once again, look at the liquidity. Not very many copies of these on the marketplace. And now for your legendary cards. Cheapest is Ancient Lich at $2.18. All the way up to some of the key cards, as mentioned in part 1. Kitty is sitting at $99, and that is for a single BCX. Then we have Jotun at $69.95, and that is for a single BCX. And then after that, the next cheapest is $97. Llama is up to $44.95, 2 copies available. Then it jumps to $70. Remember, this was like a $25 card just a couple weeks ago. Cornelius, what did I buy it for? 8, 9, 10 bucks a few months ago. Now you're looking at $43, but of course that is for a level 2, so $8.66 per BCX is pretty reasonable. But the single copies are asking $83 and $86. Or no, those are 2 BCX. And then the big mover of the week, look at Kron. Look at him go. $36.50 for a single BCX, where what had he been? $7, $6 for a long time, for the last couple months. So he has really shot up in price. So anyone that loaded up on Krons when he was under, $10, under $8, yeah, you're making a killing now. Some of the other summoners, Lear sitting at 25, Mimosa at 16, Chancius at 11.50. So it doesn't look like there's been a whole lot of movement in the other cards. They've gone up a little bit. I think Dragon Jumper was like 3 or 4, so that one's up to almost 6. But yeah, some of your key cards, Kron, Llama, Jotun, and Kitty, had big movements over the last couple weeks. Okay, let's look at the gold foil versions now. So your gold foil commons, you're sitting at just over 50 cents for the low end, up to your most expensive, $7.50 for Sandworm. You can see kind of the key cards. Failed Summoner, Spy, and Worm are the 3 most expensive. For your rares, you're looking at $2.45 for the Dark Astronomer, $2.50 for Spark Pixies. Those are the cheapest rares. Moving up to $150 for Chimera Princess. Yeah, I don't know why it's that expensive. Kelp Initiate at 21, same thing. Let's look at the summoners. What are they? Still think very affordable. If you can get a gold foil summoner, I think under $6, that's pretty good for Untamed. So these 4 I think are pretty good. Even Bortus at under 9 isn't too unreasonable. Contessa at almost 10 might be a little bit high, but look, not very many of these on the market. And if you are playing survival mode, remember that gold foils do not have as long a cooldown. Your epics. So your epics are $10.50 up to $175 for the Thunderbird. Once again, look, not very many on the marketplace. What's the most? 7 for Axemaster. Other than that, very few copies on the market. And then your gold foil legendaries, you're looking at $60 is the cheapest, and then $92 for Cornelius. Up to some of the key cards, Llama at $500, Jotun at $9.95, Kitty at $13.50. There is no Kron, and the most expensive is Scale Doctor, sitting at $1,750. Okay, then your promos. You've got Halfling Alchemist sitting at 221, Chain Golem up to 999, Mighty Dricken at 1230. And then the gold versions, you can see Halfling Alchemist at $178, 4 on the market. Chain Golem, 3 on the market. Low is 195. Okay, let's move on to dice. So what has dice done? So most of the cards you can see are pretty much where they're usually at, under 10 cents a piece. Battering Ram has been up around 19-20 cents, so this has been kind of moved up as the key card here for the commons. Your rares, which are your summoners, usually it's always Mylor at number 1. He's still sitting at $1.43, but look at this, Lorna Shine. People are learning Divine Shield is a big ability to have in survival mode. So I am surprised that this card is under $2. I see this card moving up to $3. Divine Shield is huge, and if you can give the whole point of survival mode is you don't want to lose anybody. You don't want anyone taking damage. So this is, I think, one of the key summoners to have in survival mode. So there's $1.47 for Lorna Shine, and then Oster sitting at $2.15. But look at the low end. You know, sometimes these have been 18 to 23 cents. Now you're seeing the low end, 47 cents, 51 cents. So these have really moved up. Your 3 epic cards, 40 cents up to 66 cents. And then your legendaries, Krallis has taken over the last few weeks, the number 1 spot at $25. It had been Epona for quite a while. She'd been anywhere in the $30, $50 range months ago. Now she's back down to right around 15, seems to be her normal. And then the gold versions, once again, Battering Ram is the highest regular foil. As you can see, it's far and away the most expensive gold foil at $5.99. The rares, which are your summoners, Brighten Bloom and Lorna Shine sitting at 20, Mylor sitting at 17.81, Ouster sitting at 8, and then the other two, Vera and Quid, sitting at 4.60 and 5.19. So once again, months ago, you know, and even the last month, I talked about Lorna Shine. You know, when there's a gold foil like $6, $8, I'm like, that is way undervalued. 20 for a gold foil for these cards at this moment in time seems about right. So with these being the top 3, you know, these seem pretty reasonable price for what they are. Ouster, I think, is a little bit low. I think he should probably be 12 to 15. So if you can snag him for 8, I think that's a good buy. And then these two around $5. It's not bad. Like I said, they'll probably move up a little bit, but I don't see them going too much crazier than they are right now. Epics, $11.50 for Grenadier, up to $29 for the Dragon Spirit. And then finally your legendaries, Krallis, which is the most expensive regular foil, is sitting at just 150 gold foil. Okay, that's it for dice. Now let's go on to Chaos Legion, core, and first set of reward cards. Do we have commons? Yep, commons. So once again, pretty normal, you know, a penny, ton of cards on the marketplace, and then you get all the way up to Scavo Hireling. Now this card had been down to what, 5 or 6 cents, more than doubled this week. It's up to 13 cents. And a couple of the key cards are, you know, still sitting around 2-3 cents. So the big mover here is the Hireling with the repair, just like we saw the Armor Smith with earlier. So if you can get any kind of cheap card with repair for survival, those are the ones that are disappearing off the market. And then looking at the rare cards, once again, 2 cents is your low, you know, right around burn value. And then you go all the way up to some of the more key cards like your Healer sitting at 6 cents, Demon Shark at 6. The Monk at 7, you know, he gets that heal at level 2. Curse Windiku is up to 12 cents. And then let's look at the summoners. So for quite a while, you know, Tarsa, General Sloan, Thaddeus Brood, you know, these guys have been, what, 18 cents, 20 cents? Now you're looking at Tarsa, 28. General Sloan is actually 32 cents. 36 cents for Obsidian and Thaddeus Brood. And then Kalia is it going to hit 50 cents by the time we do the next Market Watch? Oh, it might. There's still lots of these on the marketplace. You can see, you know, well in the hundreds, but these cards are definitely trending up. And survival mode seems to be a big hit. I think it's only going to grow from here. So we'll see how many more cards get absorbed off the market from Chaos Legion. Okay, epics, you're looking at 9-10 cents for the floor, up to 28 cents for Igor. And then your legendary cards, as I mentioned in part 1, we did get under 50 cents. So when I recorded it or did the data earlier, the cheapest card was 50 cents. So 50 cents is getting to be the floor for the legendary cards for Chaos Legion. One thing I don't know if you guys have noticed is the Fiends have been on the move too. You know, for quite a while the Fiends were under 50 cents. But look at the Fiends now, 90 cents, 90 cents, $1.33, $1.55, $1.80. So the Fiends have really been moving up in price. There's a ton of them on the market. You can see 80, 75, 103, but they're really moving up. And the Summoners have been ticking up as well. Possibilis is up above 5, as is Immortalis. So this has changed from just a couple hours ago when I did the data. I believe Immortalis was 5 and he was the high end. So with this amount of Chaos Legion cards printed, you've still got a couple of legendaries sitting above 5. Quicks at 365, Lily at 350, even Grandmaster Wraith at 320. Astral Entity, very underrated card with the dodge, and Resurrect at 265, and then Yasik sitting at 224. And then your gold foil versions. Moved up a penny or two, had been 13, 14 cents for common. Now we're up to 15 cents for a gold common. All the way up to 74 cents for the hireling and the chaos agent. And one thing I've noticed playing my new account, Namgib, I'm playing Silver 3 and Silver 2. I am facing a lot of teams that have just a single gold BCX of commons and rares from Chaos Legion, and then one of the golds rare summoners from Chaos Legion. I would say probably 40% of my matches I'm playing against these 1 BCX gold teams. Your rares are up to just over 80 cents for a gold foil rare. Up to, probably no surprise, your summoners are the most expensive. Now $2 is the floor for a gold rare summoner, up to almost $4 for Kelia. So these cards have been moving up a little bit in price, and with, like I said, survival mode seeming to be a big hit and these things having a shorter cooldown, we'll see if these dry up even more off the market. There's a decent amount right now, 19, 28, 21, but remember it takes 22 to max one out. So if these are all single copies, you're looking at one of each maxed out. Gold foil epics. So right around $4 is the floor for a gold foil epic, and then the high end you're getting up to $7.44 for the revealer. So these have been staying kind of in that, for the longest time, like $3.50 to $5 range, moving up a little bit. Now you're getting $4 to $7.50. I think these will probably can drift a little bit higher, probably not a whole lot. A lot of packs have been open for Chaos Legion over the last 2 weeks, as you guys saw in part 1. I believe that's going to continue. I think we're going to be opening 25 to 35,000 packs every couple weeks. I think now is the norm for Chaos Legion, with survival mode being as successful as it is, and with Chaos Legion packs, even though they've had that big spike up to 50 cents, 50 cents is pretty affordable. Okay, now your gold legendaries, getting very close to that $20 floor price, all the way up to, most expensive is, look at this, single copy of gold foil Soul Fiend for $2.90. So this is kind of an outlier. If you take that away, then you're looking at $80 for Lily Shieldpaw, which isn't too bad. I think that's where it should be for Lily, but I think there are still some good deals to be had for gold summoners. Specifically Quicks and Immortalis, I think these two are very, very good. And to see these below $35 Grandmaster Wraith, I think these two are underpriced. So I would put Immortalis probably more in the 50-60 range, and same with Quicks, maybe 45 to 50. So if you're looking for gold foil summoners, just my opinion, I think these two are underpriced. Okay, so let's look now at the Soulbound cards. Regular foil commons, 5 cents up to 49 cents. So this card is really spiked, as you can tell. Once again, any card with repair seems to have really spiked because of survival mode. And another thing you'll notice as well, martyr cards from the set have spiked as well, up to 32 cents. Your rares, 28 cents for the low end, and once again, look, martyr card sitting at 93 cents. Your epics, $1.19 to $2.94 for Idri Fire. And your legendary cards, most are represented here. There's just one that isn't. But look at the movement in some of the prices. Iziar up to almost 11. Usut at 1060. Weapons Trainer looking at just under 15. Kulu, everybody knows how good Kulu is. That one's pushing 15. And then Avis sitting here at $22. And that is for a single BCX. So not very many on the marketplace. So people are starting to realize that, hey, there's not many out there. We need to price these things more appropriately and not just give them away. Okay, let's look at the golds. So look at this, guys. Gold foil commons. Look, there's not very many on the market. So people didn't spend the DEC to unlock these, unbind these. Not very many out there. I think these are going to continue to drift higher. $1.17 to $2.95. Just kind of a hint. Swamp Spitter under $3. Yeah, it's not going to last long. Rare War Pegasus sitting at $6.95 is the cheapest. $12 for the Devil is kind of surprising. I didn't think that is the most popular one, but once again, there's only 2 on the market. Look at some of the summoners, only 1 or 2 copies. For those, 3 copies of Octavia, 4 Lob Lowland, 5 of the Matriarch. Your epics, $27.49 up to $69.42. And then finally your legendary cards, only 6 of the 12 are on the marketplace. The cheapest is surprisingly Kulu at $119. Most expensive is Soriel the Bale at $290. Okay, now let's look at the promo cards. So here's your promo cards. A regular foil we talked about in part 1. The Bear sitting at 7 cents, Vruz at 10, Oshur at 7.48, Dr. Blight at 9.49, Zerial at 13.01, Waka, cheapest he's been in a while, $139, and then Lux Vega, $3.60 is the cheapest on the marketplace. Your gold foil versions, Archimus is just under $2 at $1.95, Vruz at $2.17, Oshur at $52.50, Dr. Blight at $70, Zerial at $119, Lux Vega just under $2,000, and then Waka Spirit Blade at $5,000. All right, now it's time to move to Rift Watchers. So Rift Watchers, 2 cents to 20 cents for the Dumaki Exile. Your rare card, 7 cents for Runeslinger, up to 38 cents for Queen of Crows. One card that's been kind of on the move too is Kabbalist with the Amplify. It's taken over 2nd place at 36 cents. And for your epics, as I mentioned in part 1, some of these have been on the move. Ilthane is up to $2.72. So for quite a while, Ilthane had been, under $2 at, $1.50 or less. And now you can see pushing $3 again for the cheapest on the marketplace. Then your legendaries, $1.19 up to Inevitable, which is up to $25.65. That is for a single BCX of that. Don't think there's a whole lot of movement in the other cards. And looking at the gold foil versions from Rift Watchers, 17 cents to $2 for the commons. Once again, if it's 20 cents for a regular foil, either that's overpriced or this 46 cents for the gold foil is underpriced. Because this is basically, 14 copies of a regular foil? So at 20 cents a piece, that should be $2.80. So yeah, he's way undervalued. Rares, you're looking at $1 to $2.80 for the Queen of Crows. For your epics, which are your summoners, $6.40 for Thispa, $6.99 for Dahlin, $7.20 for Aquatis, $9.50 for Skargor, Ilthane at $29, And this is for single BCX. You can see 29, 30, and 33, 33 are all single BCX copies on the market. And then Fernhardt. Look at this, 1 BCX for $44.45, 2 BCX for $80, so you're not getting a discount at all. And then after that, $100, $108. So a couple of these gold summoners have really moved up in price. And then finally, your legendary cards, you're looking at just under $25 for the cheapest legendary gold foil, up to $195 for immolation and for inevitable. Okay, so we've almost made it to the end. So now we're up to Rebellion. So let's actually start with the reward cards. This will go a little bit quicker than the core. So your common cards, 8 to 9 cents for your commons. Pretty standard, no surprises there. Decent amount of those on the market. Your rares, 33 cents for Razorhound, up to 38 cents for the Nomad. Your epic cards, $1.90 for Kazi Conjurer, up to $2.69 for Halfling Refugee. And finally, your legendaries. All of them are represented. Basically, they're always between 10 and 12. So Galactus is a little bit high at 15, but not unreasonable, and it is the only one on the market. And then now let's look at your gold foil reward cards. So 217 to 279 for the commons. Your rares, 9 of the 12 are represented, $9 up to $14.99. Not very many on the market though. People, like I said, people don't want to spend the DEC to unlock them and then they don't sell. I'm surprised to see this many gold foil epics on the market though. 6 of the 7 are available for sale, anywhere from $49 from Shock Trooper up to $53.49 for the Arachne Weaver. And for a gold legendary, there is a Galactus available for $198. Okay, so now let's look at the core set. So your common cards, 7-8 cents is the floor for Rebellion Commons. And the big mover this week has been Albahu Forester. So this card has taken over the top spot at 69 cents per BCX. So you can see that's for one card, then it goes to 70, 74, 75. Not very many copies of this card at all. This is a common card. This is a card you need 400 of to max out. And there's not very many when you just jump all of a sudden to $1.85 for this common. So I'm not sure if it's because it gets triage at level 5 or why this card has spiked so much, but it definitely has. Oops, let's go back to the market. But it has strongly taken over the #1 spot on the marketplace. Usually, as you guys know, it's the summoners, and they're kind of in the range they have been, in the 30s to low to mid 40s for the summoner cards. For your rares, 12-13 cents is low end for your Rebellion rares. Up to, let's see what some of the summoners are doing. Rekla is sitting at 50 cents, Prophet Rose at 62, Fabino at 63, Avina at 94 cents, Soothsayer is sitting at $1.25, and Moxing Rebel is sitting at $1.80. Your epic cards, 64 cents for the Red Worm Hatchling. Up to some of the key cards, Palace is sitting at $1.85, Satha is sitting at $2.46, Captain Fellblade at $2.82. And as we mentioned in part 1, a lot of the legendary cards have moved up in price. Won't go over all of them again. If you're interested in the prices, you can see them here or check them out in part 1. But yeah, the big movers have been Rage, which about doubled, Venka going up to 50, Darg going up to 52. And like I said, that's for a single BCX. All these single BCXs are 52 to 60 bucks a piece. So some of the key legendaries from Rebellion have definitely moved up in price. And then checking out your gold foil versions. The commons, floor is getting closer to $1 for a gold foil common. I think they will get there, especially when the new modern comes out. And then where is Albahu. So $3.60 for gold foil might actually be a good deal when you're looking at getting close to $1 for the regular foil. So if you get close to $1 for the regular foil, you're looking at 14 bucks for a level 3. So you might as well just get the gold foil for $3.60. Your rares, gold foil rares, getting close to $2 for the floor for gold foil rare from Rebellion. Up to some of the key cards, Prophet Rosa at 4, Fabino at 550, Avena at 750, the Bolter at 8. This card's kind of surprising. The Hunter is up to 988, Silverblade Fighter at 999, Soothsayer at 1670, and the Moxian Rebel at 18. Your epics. So your cheapest gold foil epic is $9.85. $9.99 for the Red Worm Hatchling. All the way up to, you would think Captain Fellblade would be up there with Satha, since it is in the regular foil. So Satha is sitting at 25, so I'm not sure why Captain Fellblade is 14. This seems underpriced. And then this one is way overpriced at $35. And then finally your gold foil legendaries. You're looking at $37 for Zabajan, all the way up to $5.99 for Tofu. You can see here some of the prices. Darg, $5.80. There's a single copy on the market. Venka, there's 3, $4.99, $5.90, $5.90 on the market. So these cards, extremely hard to get. You can see how many are in circulation. Just over 100 gold foil legendaries. And there's not going to be that many more open because there's not that many circulating packs. I mean, this is with what? 900,000 packs being opened, and you're only getting 100 of the gold foil legendaries. So yeah, don't expect too many of these to be on the marketplace. And I don't expect the prices, well, they might drop a little bit from this, but man, I don't see these things going under 200 bucks a piece anytime soon. Okay, so let's wrap this up looking at the promo cards. So your common promo card, Mana Warden. So we went through part 1, 15 cents for the regular foil. The gold foil's come down since I did the data. He's down to $1.70. Let's look at the rare cards. So you've got the Henchling Enforcer at 87 cents, Mossmender at 223, Shaman at 240, Vicar at 250, Night Stalker 280, Grimbard Smith still above 446, Rune Anarchist, just not many copies of this out there. $5.60. You can see, just look at the circulating, you know, Vicar is only $11.48, but now you've got Rune Anarchist at 600. You know, there's about as many of these as there are for the gold foil version of the Enforcer. Only 271 of the Mossmender, $16.99. Shaman sitting at $18.95. Night Stalker gold foil, $21. Vicar sitting at $30. Grimbard Smith was the big mover for the gold foil promos, up to $40. Rune Anarchist, 2 copies on the market, cheapest is $65. And then your legendary cards, Baron Fiat at $6.24. Like I mentioned in part 1, Ulfga doubled basically because the voucher price doubled. So that's why that is now almost $30. Nefkit sitting at just under $40. Fitzbo sitting at $40. Delia at $56. Gold foil Baron Fiat $63. Eleanor at $65. Manaroth, look at this. I believe it was a single BCX too. He's back up to $69. Yep, $69, $70 for single BCX. So as you can see, this is kind of where he had been, you know, right around $25 for multiple BCX copies. Rick Loneman still sitting at $80. Gold foil Ulfga at $168. Gold foil Manaroth at $200. Gold foil Fitzbo at $396. Gold foil Delia at $399. Gold foil Nefcat at $415. And finally, there is a Heloise the Hollow available for $2,000. I thought it might show the mint number, so it doesn't show the mint number on it. Where's the mint number? Okay, so this is card number 92. The Lunacy System is selling at for $2,000. Okay, guys, there you have it. There is the Card Market Watch for March 16th, 2025. So lots of movement. Lots of key legendary cards on the move from Rebellion and from Untamed. A lot of the rare summoners as well have moved up in price, along with any cards that seem to get repair at level 1. The commons and rares have moved up. So that is the big news for this week. Stay tuned next Sunday for the Land Market Watch. That will be exciting because, as you guys know, Land 1.75 is coming out in just a couple of days. So curious to see by next weekend, after a few days, how the land market has changed. So until Sunday, stay the course, keep on forging, have fun, get that SPS in survival mode, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Not financial advice.